And on the topic of let's get into it, it is finally time. paiN Gaming taking on Sprout. Take me through this, guys.
Sprout versus paiN Gaming getting underway here. Best of 3 start here at the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. And we're getting into Ancient straight away. The brand new Ancient as well. Hawker, we're taken out for a spin.
Let's see who's got more playtime on this map. Who is more prepared for it? We got Big Uzera on the dualies. Yet again, the double dualies.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these at the moment. We got Shev hitting the buttons, catching the action. Fantastic observer. Going to be trying to catch it all, but 28 seconds left on the timer. We're seeing immediate A play coming in from the Sprout side, pushing through Donut and main. A question around the new Ancient was, are we going to see more A play? We have seen that over the past few games that we've seen come through. And Sprout have battled their way into the A site with a kill from Spiidi to put them into the advantageous position.
Really good position here for the Sprout side. You can see that paiN are slowly thinking of setting up this retake. They do at least have the kit and the smoke, but they're taking so much time.
The position of Rowls could really rattle the cage of paiN. He's coming around the backside. He's starting his flank with enough distraction. He might be able to get it done, but they turn. PKL turns to fight him. Rowls goes down, but there's still time to work with here for paiN, but not a lot of it. They get back in. The shots coming through. The kills will line up, but the time, it is so limited, and slaxz will line them up. A good double to take the pistol here for Sprout.
A little gap in that smoke means he can easily line up the final 2 frags. And even though the trades onto the site aren't too bad for paiN, it just takes a little too long, especially with that flank coming in. paiN had a lot to do there in a little time available to them. That's an angle that Spiidi takes aggressively. You can see Rowls actually getting cleared out on the flank, but it was more just how low the time was at this point, even with those shots from PKL. I'm pretty sure we saw an investment from paiN, though. Indeed, Big Uzera's got the M4 out, and it's a full force.
It's a heavy force coming in, and unfortunately, those heavy shots to the head of Hard Zhao. He's down, so his neck is inside the middle. Because of the changes in towards the B lane, you no longer have the boxes on the ledge, so that aggression through cave is a lot harder to pull off for paiN. And now you've lost 2 players right from the get-go towards this A site. You don't really have any resources to help that A bomb site. It's likely already going to be the save call for paiN here, as Sprout will move their way through into this A site. I don't know if they're even going to get that rifle over, because Ster's already over here.
Yeah, he's just sat outside B, making sure there is none of that aggression. Ooh, PKL spots him. I think Ster will now fall back. Sprout will finally realize it's time to make that move.
Yeah, so we got 2-0 start for Sprout coming in here, no problems. paiN should be saving everything they've got here. Can have no money going into the next round anyway. So 2-0 start on the T side. Now, obviously the narrative for the majority of the season of Counter-Strike has been around the fact that it's very CT-sided. We've seen ahead of this event, we've seen the changes to the M4 come through. We've seen the changes to Ancient in particular ahead of this last event before the end of the season. And, you know, we're seeing the best teams in the world finally get to show us what they've got here on Ancient Hawkers. So far from what you've seen, what are you thinking of the new changes?
I actually really like them. The map has just opened up so much compared to the way it used to play, and it just felt like you would see a lot of similar rounds, a lot of B-site executes. I've even seen AWPers playing on that B-site behind the new addition of the cover. Do we know what we're calling the cover on the B-site? It's not really a pillar anymore, is it?
I would just call it wood.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, he's on site, default, around the wood, I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah. I've also, interestingly, seen Double O Nation, for example, play with coldzera as the CT A anchor with an M4A4. Because you can sometimes be pretty isolated there. So that's also quite an interesting thing to watch.
You know, we got to cast the online tournament ahead of this, the Rubek Cup, that we've seen a few of these teams playing within, and we did see actually some of the anchor players switch back to the A4 with these A1S changes. So I'm definitely interested to see if that is going to be a theme throughout this event. Sprout in this round really shouldn't have too many problems, right? Because you're going up against the one save rifle, again, majority pistols here, so should be getting shredded through, and Sprout will give themselves a 3-0 lead. Got to see Sprout out at the RMRs. They were playing with their coach of Berry at the time. So Sprout have had a bit of a rough time of things over the last few months. Wasn't the best season for them. Maybe they can finish it strong and give us a bit more hope for them going into the second half of the year.
There is somewhat of a stack here, at least a rotation. Hardzao was alone on A with the USP initially, so that wouldn't have been ideal. could see Neck is spotting for information. Oh, Sprout second guessing this. They're taking a lot of time, but they also have a player in Donut now, so that should allow the split, and that should make this site take a lot easier.
Oh, a little peek out from Bigger Zera, Spiidi down. Advantage sided with paiN.
That's a gun recoverable as well.
It is. And Sprout are backing away because they have Stern making his way through cave right now. So Sprout are going to back away and try and get over to this B site. But paiN have made that read as well. They're starting to get back over here too. This could get a little bit messy for Sprout.
This time is really low. 25 seconds. They're just getting the bomb towards B, and they don't have the utility to properly take the site. There's going to be so many crossfires to deal with on this B site.
With one, slaxz goes down, Rouse will fall as well, and the stack in the pit still starting to work out perfectly. Nekas takes 2 down with the USP on the way out, and that is not the round paiN would have expected to be their first, but they will take it.
Oh, I was saying that the split onto A was going to be the thing that won Sprout the round. It ended up kind of losing them the round because they only had the one player in Donut. They only had Spiidi here. As soon as he got flushed out of that position, Big Uzera has good impact with a couple of kills. paiN can rotate into position. And as I was saying, no utility to stop those crossfires. So as soon as the kills start going against you, Sprout are in trouble. At least they still have money for this round, but that is a tough loss to take. They still can bounce back though. They have the AKs back available.
Yes, at least the one saving grace here for Sprout, but this should have been a clean 3-0 start on the T side. If they lose this, their economy will start to dwindle away. Big Uzera very committed forward because of that molly. Luckily, will stay standing for the time being. They're putting some pressure on towards him, but Big Uzera maintaining his spot. They fight into middle with multiple players here, Sprout. Able to trade out 1-for-1 onto Nekas. That removes the Donut player from the equation, and paiN have to adapt and send 2 players back over to A, which means the B players can't just sit back. So they're being more proactive down the B ramp. He smoked out the doorway, and paiN is starting to make his way down. So he's taking some control back here, paiN. Might just get a kill onto Rouse over the top of the smoke. Rouse spotted away, and paiN with a pick.
That's a really nice smoke from the CTs. Means the doorway cannot be an option for Sprout, but they themselves can see over the top of it into lane. And generally, Sprout have done a good job at taking that map control, but this time they're going to try and sell that fake towards B, and A is actually wide open.
Yeah, slaxz has been playing this entire round to try and get out and towards the A side, to try and find the gap, and finally has found some of that space. He's pushed all the way up towards the temple, but the fight in the temple will go hard South's way. As much as they will pray, Stern and Laux now have to pull off the 2v4. It's the new addition to the Sprout roster, unable to get much done. He's down and out, and just Stare left into the 1v4. He's nowhere near this fight, and as we mentioned at the beginning of this round, the economy game for Sprout is non-existent now. Look at this, barely any money left in the bank, so easy round for paiN to collect in the end. 4 players stay up, grid adjustments in the round itself too. And that will be tying up the scoreline 2-2.
Yeah, I like the way paiN played this round, being annoying towards mid, being a nuisance, and taking initiative with the flash on that fight, not giving Sprout that free map control. I think that's something they're going to have to do if they keep playing this similar play style, because we are seeing paiN not go for that aggressive B control right now. They're giving up that lane early, so I think having some options for aggression in the mid round is really important when you give up that map control at the start of the round. Clearly, paiN have that up their sleeve. It's a solid nade early, slowing the push, and Nekas has come over from mid.
Yeah, this is a good start from paiN now. Starting to get into the rhythm. nython ripping the head off Laux, and PKL starts to push his way down towards the bottom of the B ramp. Around the corner is slaxz, and the deagle connects right onto the head. PKL is down. It's not a bad shot to land at all. The peek out, slaxz with a D, looking for more. He wants another victim, if possible. He might get a shot at that as well, because there's multiple targets to deal with for nython, but he has managed to recover. Just isolate the fight onto slaxz, and now if you try to enter the B side, there's so many players waiting on the other side. paiN looking to keep it clean again, and because they've kept 4 players up in the last round, if they do the same here, look how much money they're starting to build in the CT side.
Definitely looking solid for that CT economy. for Sprout, they never really got that AK activated in this round. Never really got the ability for him to try and trade the pistol players. Unfortunately for Spiidi, he will have no chance either. Oh, and finally that AK comes into play.
It's got something. It's better than last round already. A second kill collected for Sprout, but one that fizzles out again.
Weirdly, A is open.
It is, so he might be able to get a plant, but even then, hardzao is making a quick rotation back. He's going to be playing towards CT, so he's going to be ready with that faster rotation before Stair can even get out towards the site. So he's tucked himself in. He should peek around the corner here. Actually, safe plant for Stair. Hardzao's going to track him. Goes for the knife! Okay, well, I love it. I absolutely love it, but hasn't worked out, and not enough time as he cancelled the plant. But we're seeing some antics already, Hawk, and that's what I love to see.
Nice bit of fun there. Knew that Stair wouldn't be able to plant the bomb either way. Figured he'd try and go for the knife kill. It was the mid-aggression early from paiN, though, that really took some of the sting out of the play from Sprout. Trying to just entry on towards B. Not able to use much utility in order to do so. And this is that moment at the edge. Stair just gets away.
In that position, you might as well, right? You know he either has to commit to the plan or he loses the round, right? So you go for the knife is probably the best opportunity you're going to get without really having too many issues.
Finally, AWP's out for both teams. You were talking about that CT economy being strong. Nython's got everything he would want, but slaxz has had to go without a helmet to get this AWP.
We'll see if slaxz can make impact happen with this big green. On the T side, it's a little slower and methodical as they get out mid. Oh, and nython, this is what I was talking about. The fact he will just be aggressive. He'll make that maneuver on the CT side. He'll go and fight, and so often he comes away with at least one. Gets traded out 1-for-1 in the mid play. Sprout will maintain control here for the time being. We'll see how the CTs have adjusted the defense. They've got one player inside of Donut. Nython's going to rotate back and play towards A. They don't mind sitting back in this position. 45 seconds left on the timer.
It almost seems like Sprout are waiting for further aggression again. But now that nython is gone, it looks like paiN will sit back into more standard spots. slaxz might have the opportunity. I think he has been spotted, though.
But look, you can use the distraction of bigazero to come out from the red room. Peeks up at the top, and now hardzao under a bit of pressure. Can't hold. Stair takes him out, so now bigazero has to do more. But this time, he has the big green. The sniper posted up and looking towards Donut. Now drops back to watch main from the temple, setting up the distraction and the position of bigazero. Runs out of ammo on the M4 and ends up getting taken down to the no-scope. But quick reactions here, quick rotations, not leaving space, and paiN up to 4 rounds.
And maybe not as precise as paiN would have wanted on some of those fights, but they're just getting into the right positions right now. They're doing a really solid job at working together. Even when they go into a 4v4 there, Sprout just run down the clock so long, waiting towards mid. They don't really get to put any pressure on the map themselves, and paiN start to get the right read on the situation as the round goes on. You can see Sprout calling for a tactical timeout now. I think with good reason. They haven't really been able to get too involved in the play ever since paiN started getting the gun rounds out, ever since paiN started winning in that 3rd round.
Yeah, no, you didn't even need the guns out, right? It was the pistols that came in and shut it down first. And yeah, for Sprout, since that point, they've basically disappeared. It's very unfortunate. And you've seen a couple of different faces from them too, right? So the AWP come out last round, didn't really amount to a whole lot. But to me, it's really interesting to see how paiN are closing the space in so quickly, right? Last round, they're throwing bodies at the situation, cutting away any opportunity for Sprout to gain some ground. So Sprout, we'll see what they can figure out the solution to that. Held back by early utility, but they don't mind just waiting it out and now running into middle.
nython should hear these steps.
Oh, he
spots that player, but somehow gets dinked.
Yeah, he got dinked on the jump over the cross, and now they put pressure on towards him. Rals will overrun nython, take him out of play. Nython's going to be looking down in towards Donut.
Ooh, there was actually a gap in that smoke.
Yeah, there was. Interesting to see how this tempo is going to play out. hardzao. Look how many players they've got over here right now for paiN, though. Everybody's ready for this A play. This is going to be so hard for Sprout to get in. They finally deal with nython, but look at that from hardzao. double from the big box, still standing as well. Finally removed by Ster, but the work's already been done, and it's into the 2v2. A minute left, bomb down and loose. You've got to get that back if you're Sprout. And Ster realizes maybe a tempo fight is what's needed to turn the tides. And as soon as he looks away, PKL comes around the corner, takes the first kill, and spots out Spiidi to close the second. 5 rounds now for paiN on the CT side.
Yeah, PKL having a good start to this game. He's the in-game leader for the paiN side, and him being a solid fragger could be a big boost to paiN here. And I do feel like this is the sort of playstyle that's going to suit paiN more right now. Even in these rounds, it's obviously not ideal that it gets close, but it's just a pretty scrappy game where it is coming more down to individuals at times. And I don't think that's what Sprout want. I think Sprout want a more clean play style where they are able to execute onto the bomb sites. That hasn't been allowed, but that's a solid flash, and Rouse will get the opener.
Yeah, quick out mid for Rouse, and Sprout finally have something to be happy about. They've got the opener, they've got the advantage. What can they do with it? And towards the B lane for the time being. The bomb will start to shift the tensions back over here too. Currently on the back of slaxz. Well, that was a chance for Ster if he had taken down Bigazera. Maybe something could have been activated off the back of that. There's still so much time for Sprout to play with. No secret where they want to go right now.
There's a switch up for paiN too. They've got a double AWP set up into this round. And even though mid has been left wide open, they're still happy to stick with 3B. They're confident that Hardzao could lock down the other side of the map. The upside for Sprout is this might give them a better opportunity to set up one of their executes, to set up one of these clean site takes that they want to go with, but they're still running into 3 CTs. That is going to be tough. And there's also counter utility. PKL has an incendiary which could really slow down the ramp play.
This isn't going to be easy, especially with that cover in towards the site. It's going to be very difficult to get away with not losing a lot of players here for Sprout. PKL, that's perhaps one way to give it away. Bigazera getting boosted up in the corner. Laux has already crossed on by. Over the top, spotting the bomb carrier and bringing it down to the ground. It's going to apply more pressure to Sprout now. They have to go and get it, and nython is not going to allow them to pick up that bomb, and every kill is going paiN's way. Spiidi was the mid lurk, and they realize, well, everybody's gone in the main pack. They consider the mid play. They find Spiidi, and a 6th round now for paiN.
paiN just did a great job at buying so much time there. They knew that those smokes were on a timer. They knew those smokes were going to run out eventually. PKL puts the initial incendiary down. That already buys time. Then they try and flash him into ramp. Because he's put the incendiary down, they can have a bit of time to call for that play. It doesn't work out initially, but they still can have the boost behind. And because they've slowed it down initially, you have a bit more time to think through those plans ahead of time that are going to slow the Sprout side down. Really solid stuff from paiN there. They're just being really disruptive right now with the way they're playing. And again, Sprout stuck on pistols. Not going according to plan for them right now on their map pick. We are still having the question of how CT-sided this version of Ancient will be, though.
Yeah, I think that's still very much open to the jury, right? We're trying to still figure it out at the moment. But I think it's when you get into the post-plant position on B, that cover actually works in favor of the Ts, but the cover works in the way the CTs originally, right, in the start of the round. But if you get the bomb down, it can maybe favor the Ts a little bit, but Sprout yet to get into a convincing position. paiN CT side always seems to have an extra player what it needs to be. And Sprout have actually found their way into the B site this time. Got some ground. This might just be that convincing post-plant you want to see, but as soon as I say that, PKL nips one through the smoke. Second kill will go Bigazera's way, so should be getting cleaned up momentarily, but a bomb plant nonetheless gives some extra cash on over. They spot out slaxz. They hunt him down, but because of the smoke, he's actually able to stand tall for a few more seconds here. The Eagle shot comes through, and the defuse will start to come through as another round is added to the paiN tally. Starting to tick the CT side on up, but even if it is still CT side, the Hawk, 2 rounds is not enough. We still need to see at least 5 come in for Sprout on their map pick on the T side here.
I will be interested to see how Sprout approach this round, because they definitely know paiN have been double AWPing now. So maybe this is the time to switch up your approach. I think they have been trying to go for these site executes in recent rounds, which I think is a good idea. If you can get those smokes into position, if you can get the bomb down, it's not easy for those AWPs to play retake. It is going to be the early mid play coming in from Ster, and nython hasn't been blinded. He is able to get another from beyond the grave. 2-for-1 trade. Yet again, nython is a menace at mid.
Just throwing his body on the line and getting pick after pick. It's giving paiN such an advantage and really causing a problem for Sprout. You know, this is a team we mentioned earlier today. You know, their identity over the years has been a team that likes to prepare, that likes to be a bit more structured. If you're losing a player pretty much every round, right, that's one player that carries important utility. That's one player that's so important in the set piece that you want to call towards the end of the round. This is throwing Sprout into an uncomfortable position where they're going to have to get a bit more scrappy.
And I always love when teams like paiN do this when it's their opponent's pick.
Yeah,
just
you be
try and make them
disruptive.
uncomfortable, exactly.
Well, under a minute left, Sprout already down 2 players. You've lost Spiidi, you've lost Ster. You need to now just start to fight. You need to start winning some of these battles, and they're going to send the AWP out to try and do that. But peek out, here's the scope, and now the peek around with utility. The pins are pulled, and that's the sound cue that allows them those kills. And finally, Ral's will spring into action, but 40 seconds left, still in the 1 versus 2. A player on either bomb site right now for paiN. They're split up into this. nython and hardzow both carrying AWPs as well.
hardzow has looked back towards CT. He's scared that Rouse could have pushed all the way through top mid, but they're just not giving the fights away. And you can see Rouse is scared of so many different angles. Eventually, he'll have to tap that bomb, and that's when it gets scary.
As soon as you put that down, you're dead to rights. AWP comes around the corner. hardzow was able to get deep into CT spawn and catch the position needed. 8 rounds for paiN. They have already won this half by a minimum of 1 round. And it just seems to keep getting better. A tactical timeout for Sprout, as you pointed out in the previous round. Because of this play from nython, because of this style he's rocking in towards mid, Sprout are having to get a bit more scrappy, and it's not really panning out to their game plan.
Yeah, you can even see the utility is there for Sprout. They're still wanting to go for that methodical play style. It's just that nython is able to get an early kill while the Flames are just getting into his position. And then he stands true and eventually takes 2 from that molly beyond the grave. It almost looks like Sprout are maybe more used to just getting this mid control without as much competition. And maybe a lot of their strategy is based off getting that mid control. But with that not happening, it's a real difficult spot for them.
And what we talk about the changes of A, you know, the real strength is the A set piece you can now run with a split, right? But if you don't get mid control, you can't split the A site. So paiN doing a great job of just fighting down middle. Sprout once again. Let's just put 1 player there. It's a little quicker from Lanx up towards B ramp. He wanted to just try and take a fight. They have decided to play a bit more scrappy and get into the brawl. But if you decide to play this way, if you decide to get into the brawl and try and take fights out of spawn, this is just going to favor paiN. This is the style they love to play. That's a shot, though, that you love to see. Ster puts 1 right between the eyes of nython.
I think he has to be the man to watch for Sprout right now. Played pretty well for them in their opening game, even though they didn't have the best time in that one. Boost up, another entry from Ster.
That's great, because now it pulls the attention of biguzera towards KF. He has to worry about that position, which opens up more space to push up through B ramp. This is a good position for Sprout to be in.
The bomb's taking its time, though. Those smokes are going to fade eventually.
And look at the rotation starting to come back as well. You never really see hardzow take the risk in mid, especially with AWP. So he's going to be coming back in from CT. biguzera blinded and caught in an awkward spot. Ster with another kill in the round. Ster does absolutely everything. Rals will finish and steal away the ace opportunity, but that is just all about individual prowess from Ster.
Yeah, great to see some impact from the individuals. And something that this Sprout team have is their 2 highest rated players in Lanx and Ster are both the players who attempt the most entries on T side by a decent distance. They're both aggressive riflers, and you see the benefit that that can provide when they're on point. Just entry after entry, fight after fight. Eventually it gets into a position where his teammates are there to help him.
This is quick from nython. He's gone and run boost in towards the mid ledge and tried to fight down the B ramp early. Was down close to getting that opening, but cancels it, and they have to readjust.
There's a smoke from biguzera. We haven't seen him go for this too often. But as that cave player, you can move forward once you put that smoke down. You can be a bit of a nuisance early in the round. You can even see a bit of wallbang damage being done.
Yeah, but you can see it's just much more scary to commit to it, right? Because you can still get taken out via middle. So this is going to be a little more recessive. A peek once again. Nython getting beaten out by the rifles. Back-to-back rounds now. The AWP player's gone down without a fight. Sterer again following up off the back of it. It is Bigazera to go down. And this is putting pressure on PKL. So he has to try and rely on nython to help him out. And in the meantime, there is a fight going down towards the A site too. PKL's been taken out towards B by Sterer. And this A fight, if it goes the way of Spiidi, that should be Sprout locking it in. It is just nython, but now the bomb can go back over towards A. The opening is there, and they'll dodge that fight on towards this B site and put nython in a real tough spot. This is going to be a safe call, perhaps, to the AWP.
Definitely could be. He was hoping putting the smoke behind him would confuse anyone who was up close. That has not worked, though. slaxz was waiting for it the entire time. And we're just starting to see some of those individuals step up for Sprout. We've been talking about Sterer, but I think the fact that slaxz gets an entry there is really important too, because he had a pretty poor opening game for the Sprout side, and he is normally one of the stars of this team. And that is one of the questions for me, is how is he going to adapt? Because I don't think he's really ever played a tournament of this caliber. So having a star like that who's having to step up in terms of slaxz, we'll see if he can deliver. For paiN, though, it is down to $0 of investment.
I thought it was just Coach Lau finally finding a spot on the team again. Lau and X. Looks like a bit of a stack for paiN being attempted towards B. The Pistols are going to walk their way down, and we're going to see slaxz be under a bit of pressure. He might make himself pad those stats a little bit. There's one. Jumping on by, offsetting his crosshair. He gets away with two, finally put it in the ground, and that's the AK recovered here into the hands of a CT. I'll have to save that one, I'm sure, as PKL. Well, the rest of the pack can still go and hunt and be a little bit of a nuisance, but 5 rounds. I mentioned a few rounds ago that that was the number you wanted to see from Sprout, right? You wanted to see 5 rounds posted on the T side at a minimum to feel good about it. It didn't really feel like, based on the game plan they got those rounds, it felt like it had to go into the individuals. And it doesn't really matter how you get the rounds as long as you get the 5 T rounds, but it's good to see that Sprout actually had the capability of going, okay, our game plan didn't work, our strategic style doesn't work, let's bring it down into the brawl. And they actually were able to compete individually, which is a great sign.
Yeah, I think it was really important to show that they were willing to mix it up, they were willing to switch up from whatever game plan they may have had coming into this. And for paiN, they may still have some issues with their buy. Getting that AWP out won't be easy into this next one. And they have generally been rocking that double AWP setup.
Yeah, but the ult from nython has been pretty ineffective over the last few gun rounds as well, so we'll see if he gets a bit more impact on the rifle. Now, he isn't a player that is bad on the rifle, right? That's the good thing about nython. When he gets the rifle in his hand, he's still very proficient, and he's going to pull it out.
Ooh. This is a heavy B stack early from paiN.
Yeah, no one on A. Not a single player on the A site right now, and I suppose Sprout really haven't put too much pressure to spawn towards A at all. It's been the mid fight for Spiidi, and it's going to work out against Hartzell. Now nython is going into the midst of a fight. Sterer is going to take his life away, and every kill for Sprout has been picked up in a few seconds. paiN try and apply pressure, try and get into the midst of battle right away. And that has not worked out. And now Sprout is starting to lean back to the A site. And as you mentioned earlier, it is empty.
Completely clear. paiN is still over on B. They might start to rotate, but once they realize the bomb is down, I think they'll figure that that is not going to be a retake that's possible. paiN calling for a play out of spawn, just trying to get crazy aggressive out through B. It didn't look like the utility was good enough to actually allow that play, though. It kind of looked like they were relying pretty heavily on some flashes to get them into position. And losing that player in Donut obviously also was a pretty big deficit.
I think getting these rifles out of the hands of paiN is just so brutal because you don't have much money left over at all. If you had a couple of rifles, maybe you could do something in the next round, but Sprout realized that. They realized if they take everything away, then their opportunities to get much done at all going into the last round of this first half are very slim. nython will go down, no rifle held onto for paiN. Now we can look at their money and they just won't be able to buy. They just won't be able to get anything of value out here. So this should be Sprout taking 7 rounds out of the T side. That is really impressive, the turnaround that they've had to go through.
Definitely a solid bounce back for them. We were saying earlier that paiN got out to a good start against MOUZ, and then once it got deeper into the game, that's where MOUZ were able to come through. That's where it ended up being a MOUZ comeback that they were able to win in overtime. So if Sprout can stabilize, perhaps they could have the same success. This time paiN going for a 2-1-2 setup. That puts nython under a fair bit of pressure on that aggressive mid stance. And he's going to play into the smoke.
Oh, lovely shot from slaxz. nython caught, impaled, and well, now we're looking at paiN having to deal with even more of a disadvantage. They started the round with a significant weaponry disadvantage, but now they've lost a player too. It's about to be a fight down on the B ramp. Plowix trying to catch an opportunity, but it's not coming this way. Won't begin to drop back. Minute left on the clock for the time being. They're going to start filtering their way back into middle. Ster confident enough to fight through the cave on his own, and for good reason as he takes out nython. And with that kill, it is starting to look very good for the Sprout side as they now go down in towards middle. They go towards Donut. Maybe one kill can come in here for Hardsal, but getting much more is going to be very difficult. He will take down the low HP player of Ster, but tread it out. And now just down to 2 players for paiN.
Smokes are arriving. paiN are going to try and beat them to get out onto the site. It is Biguzera going for the commit, but as soon as he goes down, PKL is left hoping that he can do something, but I don't think he's going to be able to do much.
Yeah, he's just holding, biding his time, but it is 7 rounds here for Sprout. PKL will go down. What a recovery. What a turnaround from Sprout. We'll see if they can pull it all the way and take themselves a victory here on Inchin to kick off this best of 3.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night and never day. Even when I wash the floor, the dust still comes. Keep on hunting for the bread. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother. Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night, it's never day. Even when I watch the floor, the dust will come. Keep on hunting for the prey. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother.
welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. We're into the best of threes here on the first day of play. We've got Sprout versus paiN Gaming. Now, this is Sprout's map pick. The T side got off to a decent start with the first 2 rounds being picked up, but it all turned around and started to look like paiN were about to leave the half with a very strong lead until Sprout were able to come back and adapt and have now posted 7 rounds out of their T side. If they win this pistol round, they could be in a very good position going into the second half of play, Holka.
Yeah, and for paiN Gaming, it's a position where you have to see what they've got on their T side, not their map pick. Not always easy to get going on this map on the T side. Flashes over, smoke over to mid early. Rouse seeing if he can land any shots, but paiN will bypass him and try and split this A site.
Again, it's a lot of these A-split pistols, and slaxz is going to hold it off. Netkiss goes down. slaxz gets traded out, though, and that's going to put pressure onto slaxz, and he is going to go down. Follow-up kills coming in here for paiN, and it is just Stair and Spiidi left alone. And getting back into the site is going to be difficult for the 2 remaining Sprout players. They haven't got a utility here, no kit on their back. To get back in and win this round, they have to be swift. They're worried about a flank as well because they know that paiN have an expendable player. Spiidi is going to look down in towards main. Hearts out, peeks out to fight CT. Stair will win that battle, and now they've got some ground back. You need to get onto the defuse, and the kit has been picked up. And Stair is on the blind side, just around the corner. He's able to pull off the defuse, gets away with it, and Sprout will have the pistol.
Man, it was looking pretty good for paiN. I like the initial call. I like the split onto A. It is not easy for CTs right now to deal with those A splits through mid in the pistol round, because you don't really want to play in donut where the Glocks can close you down. But if you play back on the site, you can see that slaxz is in a pretty rough position, having to watch both sides. Looked like paiN had a good post plant for themselves. But Spiidi defends his teammate well. Good shot landed. And then is able to get back in time for the other position. So paiN losing the pistol. They've gone for a bit of an investment. Hardzao has 1 AK. We'll see how they try and make the most of that.
Oh, a little peek out from Spiidi. Easy kill on the softened opponent. Hardzao goes down, no issue. Sprout would like to keep this one as clean as possible. Netkiss, if he extends around the corner from this boost, Spiidi is ready for that. And if they try and get up the ramp, well, they're going to have to deal with significant forces stacked over here right now for Sprout. So good luck breaking through. The rifle of biggazera will get 1 and a second picked up as well. slaxz will play on site. Now pressure starting to mount, but he's able to peek out and take 2 down. I mean, that rifle from biggazera, that was finding a little bit of momentum there, Holka. Important that that was shut down very quickly.
Definitely see what biggazera can provide to the team. If he's able to do that earlier in rounds, if he's able to crack open sites like that with the incredible first bullet accuracy, that could be paiN's way in on the T side. But for Sprout, now they have won both pistols here on their map pick. Whenever that happens, really, you have no excuse. You have to go on to win your map. They have the lead right now.
Both pistols on Ancient as well is massive, right? The pistol on Ancient in particular has a lot of importance, especially when you get a good first half out of the T side. You want the CT pistol, you're in a very good position. Ooh, Neka is getting chunked down through the boost. That does a lot of damage, actually, through the wood. Down to 35 HP right from the get-go here, Nekas.
God, it must be so annoying.
It is.
Playing at the pro level.
I'm sure.
If that happened to me, I'd just be instantly tilted.
I know, you just have to start the round. You're basically dead already, right? You have to be so much more aware about utility, but Nekas is a player that gets into the fight a lot of the time, so he's going to be used to this.
Well, he's got the Mac 10 now, too.
Yeah,
I think they switched that into his hands.
I think as soon as he gets spotted upon the jump here, the nade might be sending its way towards him. Although in the meantime, paiN have started to shift their attentions and affections through the cave itself, and will apply pressure in the B from that point. But 45 seconds. I see something here from paiN. Mid-smoke towards the red room. Will it adjust the B defense enough? It has pulled away one player back over to A, and that might just be the window they need here to get in towards this site.
They mollied the site earlier, too. They mollied the actual cover on the site itself, so biggazera will probably realize there's no one on the actual site. And they have a couple of smokes, which should really lock Sprout out.
Yeah, they should be seeing one deployed towards long, one towards short. Just lock off those 2 avenues. And now we'll see what the reaction of Sprout is. Do they just let them onto the site? Oh, that helps. The kill through the smoke, a second as well. It's always nice when you can get a couple of those because it frees you up to go for the boost over the top. The kills will come through. paiN will get the bomb down, but now they've got to do it in a 2v4. They've got to turn this one around, double the player count. Oh, the call onto nython. He's just about spotted that information, sets up the CTs at the ready to wait for his push in towards their crosshair, and a great recovery in the round for Sprout. Double figures now picked up.
4 AKs saved on the CT side. You love that if you are Sprout right now. And for paiN, just a little unfortunate, you could say, that these spams are so effective. There's been some discussion as to if we're going to see those silenced M4s go for as many of those smoke spams, but on that B site of Ancient, there is still the ability when those smokes go in, it's unlikely someone's going to push into your position. You can also spam them from pretty far back. Look at this from paiN. Everyone out to B early. This looks like a quick call.
It is quick. It's certainly got some speed behind it. Spiidi's going to try and stop it. A massive speed, perhaps. Well, the light up going through. And it's just nython left on towards the site. Spiidi jumps into the battle. It is chaos inside of the B site, but it is finally brought to a close. Brought to a close in favor of Sprout. They actually survived really everything that could have gone wrong there. They didn't let the bomb plant go down. They didn't really let it get out of hand. And so it is starting to look very rough for the side of paiN Gaming for the time being.
That cover on the B site makes such a big difference for stopping those fast B plays on the CT side. I think we saw Furia go for quite a few fast plays, sometimes fast B plays when the changes were initially put in. And they were just getting denied a lot because you can have a crossfire established now. You can have one player playing behind the site cover and then someone else playing up close, and it's just really effective.
Well, look at this from Ster. He's let off the leash. He's gone aggressive through the cave with the smoke up. He's emboldened by it and try and stick around here. He's using utility. Well, that draw their attention towards his spot, and now he's in a tough spot because he has to worry about the left side, and he also has to worry about middle. Utility going through, flash to blind him. They're going to boost over the smoke and elbow as well. Ster is in a real tough spot. He is dead to rights when he stays there, and he is gone. Out of the way, at least paiN now have the advantage.
It's a cool idea, but it's a spot you have to just so heavily commit to on the CT side, right? You can't really go back through that smoke too easily, and paiN figured it out. Spiidi's able to fire back, though.
Yeah, it's a good pick there. It's too easy, in fact. It feels too easy right now for Sprout to pull a couple of these kills through. nython has to be successful, as now what was a really good position for paiN to be in is suddenly turned to Sprout being in the better position. And because of the cancelled play, 40 seconds, bomb is starting to run its way back over to this A site. Sprout realized there's nothing happening on the B site right now. We can rotate those extra players back over towards A. And they can't go quick through main because they would give away the steps in towards Donut. So this is going to be really low on time for paiN when they finally get into the A site. And when you're low on time, you can sometimes get caught out from these positions, and they're just ready. Utility still held. It's getting shut down right now. No problem here for Sprout. Grid adaptation. This CT side is just rhythmic.
Even when they lose that early opportunity, the aggressive play doesn't pay off for Ster, but the rest of the team can bounce back. And as you were saying, just a couple of fights come too easily for Sprout. They start to walk into positions that CTs are going to take, especially when you have so many AKs up on the CT side.
So you get the initial kill right, you get a lot of control towards B. You have players towards cave, you have players outside of the B ramp. There's no real need to just push in and try and make the play again. You have the opening. You can just commit into it with a set piece or an execute, throw some smokes in, but they're not really getting that going at the moment. They tried a bit of a quicker play through mid in this round. Ooh, it's actually working out enough. They've got towards the site. They forced a couple of these players back, and an upgraded weapon now in the hands of Hards out. Plant will come through for paiN, and now they really need to convert this one.
2 players in Donut for the post plant, but there's still utility for the CTs. So we could see that get smoked off. There's another smoke for paiN, though. Could actually make this a little awkward. Smoke being set up by slaxz. He's just had a second smoke dropped over to him, too. They're going to have to clear out Temple first. Oh, that was awkward, but eventually successful.
Yeah, the 20th kill in a clean one, but it is the 20th nonetheless. Spiidi gets another easy one under Hards out. But the time, it is taking MPKL. He's stuck around. He's playing with his food. He comes around. He denies. A double kill comes in. And the time is so damn limited. Spiidi will get onto it and try his best, but even he realizes there's absolutely no time for it. Lovely play there to close it for PKL. Sprout taking too much time, and paiN given a bit of a lifeline, perhaps the first step back into this, but that's a round you did not expect to see success come from.
He was playing in Donut initially, so a really heads-up play to realize he may have to reposition. Hardtail was hoping he could flank all the way round, which is why I think PKL decided to switch up his position, but it helped out so much. You see slaxz just swiveling around, hoping that he can find the angle, find where that last player is playing from. That's a big moment for paiN. They really needed that.
Look at this. This is wild. Lounge with the AWP picked up. He's gone aggressive in towards main, and it's a quick shot onto Bigazera. It's a wild play. I love that he's confident enough to go for that. Picks it up. Sprout with the player advantage. We'll see how paiN respond to it. They're going back in towards A right now.
Yeah, I quite like this call just because it's really unexpected when you've just seen an AWP in this position. That step could make things awkward though, because there are two players in Donut that should have heard that. The thing is, you can walk out towards the site and get these smokes down and get a really good chance to get the bomb planted.
Well, they hear a lot of utility. There was no real adjustment. Even if they did hear that from Donut, there was no one from B that moved away. So they're going to start coming back over to A now. The utility's already in, and as you say, putting that utility down alone should give you a bomb plant. And oh, another smoke kill. Sprout have been getting so many of these just ahead of the retake attempt. Is giving them such a big advantage at getting back in. They've now got to deal with 3 players on the paiN side when it was 4 just moments ago. Nekkers has seen Ster cross into the corner, but is flashed away. And Ster's got some ground. Nython under a lot of pressure. His teammates are going down, and the rifle is committed inside of the temple. There's no way he can peek out. He has to rely on the rifle, and Nython has jumped out. It's a kill on towards Rals. His teammates under so much pressure, but hardtail is handling it. And the AWP of Nython has done enough work, and paiN will get their 10th round. Time is limited, even though the kills all come through for Sprout. It isn't done in a quick enough fashion. And that's a 10th round picked up for paiN. And once again, we are back into having a competition here.
Yeah, back to some scrappy rounds right now, which seems like it's where paiN are finding most of their success. Ster coming in, it looked good for them, but they don't get on the bomb here on the Sprout side. And I actually feel like while these fights were going down, maybe if someone's sticking the bomb, it actually pays off for them. But they try double push A main, and again, they just don't quite have the time for it. So paiN running down the clock long enough. This time grouped up outside A early.
I love how Nython's called Calf in the Kofi chat band. Well, Noldy Nython.
Fast smokes out to A.
It is a quick one from paiN again. Speed has been the name of the game in the last few rounds, and Nekkers at the front of the pack. It's one, but a good double from Lounge delivered from the rifle. Traded out again by PKL. paiN will put the bomb down. This time, no smoke kill coming in for Sprout, so they will have to play this retake on the even player count. And Nython's gone aggressive, and he goes into the close quarters, which delivers the MP9 a kill.
Both players in A main, and this bomb isn't even really planted. It's planted on the right side of the site.
2 smokes as well right now for Sprout. So even if you use the first one and it's not in the right spot, the information can now be used to throw that second one into a better spot. PKL, peek out onto Spiidi is good, but Ral's not. Well, they expect hardtail to come from the same position. Smoke is onto the bomb. Shots going through the first attempt. Not good enough. It was 1 bullet away from stopping the defuse from happening, but the commitment wasn't there long enough to get the kill.
Oh, it was a nice try for paiN. Having those 2 plays stacked in A main, they make the best of it that they can in that situation. They try and send the first player out aggressively and then have the second player sit back. And because Sprout smoked Donut, they actually thought they had to go over and be able to spam back. They thought that player was going to be playing from Donut for the post plant. But unfortunately, just no kill through the smoke. And those are the margins of error that it can come down to sometimes.
Yeah, that's frustrating, but this is a big haul from Lounge early on, right? Gets the double kill. That puts his team in a very good position. See the MP9 get away with a pick of Ster towards CT. There's a couple of chances there for paiN. Thrown away. Timeout used here for paiN. Second one being used up as well here.
It is a big call to make in this round. I think you probably just go for the half buy though.
Yeah, I mean, the one half buy round that really looked good was the A split attempt where they got out mid really quick and got through Donut. If they do something like that, if the pace was really solid to overrun Sprout. Even in that last round, right, the speed was too much for Sprout to handle.
Okay. We've got one AK.
They decided to purchase the AK. Okay.
I think we're going to have minimal investment from everyone else.
Yeah. We'll see how PKL makes this one work. We'll see what the call is from paiN. Now to spawn it is the mid smoke out towards Red Room. Infinity Molly deployed in front of Donut. And they will throw some utility to combat that mid play from Sprout, but there's no commitment. Instead, everybody's going over towards B.
Aggressive B stance again from Sprout. This time 2 CTs there to make sure that Ster has some assistance on that aggressive play. And now they're going to be able to smoke off this doorway again. And it's not like paiN have much utility to try and go through that smoke. So even though Sprout are just using that utility and falling back and playing from the site, there's no way paiN can know that. So they can't go through that smoke right now.
Yeah, when you go into a slow play like this, it's really hard to see how paiN are actually going to be able to break through this B site.
Spiidi is kind of out in the open. That is maybe a chance for a pick.
Yes, but Ster's also in a strong position. Now the rotation's starting to, well, it's quick to come back. It isn't actually being committed to. It looked like we're about to see Lounge get in towards B.
Oh, it's not the AK first, though.
It's not. And Pistol will spot out Spiidi, who recovers, takes himself a double kill. Ster will help him out. And through the smoke, Spiidi with a headshot on towards Netkiss. Easy with the USP. It is now nython with the AK in hand. It's not really a round that had much in it here, paiN.
I gotta say, Spiidi's had a couple of really solid games recently.
Yeah,
he's been around for so long, but he's still putting up solid numbers. Good to see.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really blowing your mind, but he's, at times he's definitely disappointed, but he stayed at this level for such a long time. He's definitely doing something right. Timeout coming through with the Sprout team this time. I realize the buy is coming up against them.
PKO will take the MAC-10 for paiN. He was the player that bought that AK previously.
How do you feel about when you invest, you take the risk to go with a hero AK, and then you don't even have really an idea in the round? Feels like it would just be better, bite the bullet, just get into the next round with everybody on a rifle.
Yeah, I almost would have just liked them to give it to like Big Uzera or something and just see if he can get some entries if they don't have a better idea. But I don't think it's as bad as it seems, because it normally gets into a scenario where either the MAC-10 does just try an entry, or it can probably pick up an AK after some early trades.
That's very true, that's very true.
So I don't mind it too much.
We'll see where PKL is positioned here in the pack early on. He is
at
the front.
Mid-spawn.
Yeah.
Oh, he's lining up the utility though.
Yeah, fighting mid with a MAC-10, it always feels impossible going up against the rifle, so he's going to send you some utility out and let Netkiss get into the midst of battle early on.
Still seeing the same play from Sprout with that mid smoke down.
Yeah, look at this one. Spiidi right through. He goes through cave and fights down B lane early, gets in the midst of the utility and really gets himself in an awkward spot, but comes away with a pick, and he's staying committed. Morales and Ster forcing the issue here. Sprout have called to be aggressive in this round, and it has worked really well. It maybe caught paiN off guard a little bit. Expected a bit more respect, a bit more space to play with, but Sprout send it right into the battle early. We're now down to PKL and nython left to try and make a 2v4 happen. Again, this is for 15 rounds for Sprout. This is for map point here on Ancient.
I think PKL might get that AK finally that we were talking about. But not an ideal circumstance to recover it in. I love what we're seeing from Sprout. They've got a couple of plays off the back of that mid-smoke they're putting down. This time they push down into B lane. It just wreaks havoc. A couple of mid-kills come through as well. Now, nython's got 2 smokes there, so he can set up both smokes for the site. And PKL can maybe get out onto the site control they're looking for.
Yeah, and Spiidi's low. And if he goes through the smoke, ooh.
Is that team flash?
Looked like it. Flash was up. Spiidi at least gets away with it. Oh no, it can't happen again. The smoke spams just keep happening, but luckily this time, paiN will be able to survive. They'll be able to put the bomb down, and in fact, the kill goes PKL's way. So you've now pulled this in to a doable round. nython has taken a lot of damage on board, but a lot of the Sprout players are damaged up too. PKL with some health. He's going to be the player that it all hinges on here. Will paiN be able to convert this 2 versus 3 Sprout are back in. They've got some ground onto the side again. They're going to tap that defuse, and as soon as they do, pressure for nython to move forward. It's 1 kill, but the defuse being stuck around the corner, and nython unable to get it done. Spiidi, even on low HP, is able to still close solid with a 2K.
Spiidi again, putting in a shift right now in this map. I don't know how he wins that second fight, or I think it was his 3rd kill on the round even. Incredible
Yeah, he
for him
did
to
so
win
well.
that.
So confident early in the round as well that B lane fight is going through the utility. But nonetheless, we have to focus up going into round 26. A buyback for paiN Gaming. Rifles on everybody. But it might just be the last round for them here at Ancient.
And Sprout this time not going for that same mid-aggression, so that means paiN should have a good chance to establish this control. Rouse in an uncomfortable position, and that's going to allow Hardzout to slip the net.
Yeah, Spiidi nearly gets caught in the geometry. He is able to get back behind cover before he gets caught by the movement. Hardzout got some ground there and then actually relinquishes the control and drops back again. Gets spotted doing so. paiN once again set outside the B side.
Yeah, at least paiN did establish the mid control, even if Hardzout falls back. So it makes it more difficult for Sprout, and you can actually see Sprout have just used some utility to make sure that top mid is completely clear.
Yeah, so in doing so, you've seen the player drop back mid. You start to think mid is clear. You've got a player pushed all the way through A main right now. You start to realize, well, there's only one box left to tick, and that's the B site right now. So you can actually stack a 3rd player over here. And paiN, if they go into this B site, you're going to be in a rough spot.
paiN have gone for these B executes a couple of times, but Sprout have generally shut them down. Not the counter utility available this time, but still players on the site.
Oh, Spiidi very confident once again. Turns the legs for a kill. biguzera able to trade back before Spiidi's able to get away with a multi-kill. Ned lined up towards default. Actually, not good, but the wall bang, it'll land exactly where it's intended. nython out of there through the smoke. 20 seconds left. Another player sent forward to try and commit to the bomb plant. This time it will go down, but paiN down a player looking to try and survive here on Ancient. Sprout have got 4 players positioned, all coming in from the same side, right? There's no flanks coming in. All the players coming in from this one position, and Rouse is going to take his first kill. PKL is down, and they know they've got a player pinned on default. Hardzout's doing everything he can, but it's not going to be enough. And biguzera, everything left for him to do, and it's not going to be enough. It will be Sprout who take Ancient. They will take map number 1 of this series, and they look damn good doing it. Individually tested in the first half, but able to recover, and they close the first map of the series 16-10. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we'll break down this first map.